Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Hashtag Ask the Coach. My name's Amelia Thompson and I'm the head coach at CrossFit Victoria.
And I'm Adam Anshaw and I'm the senior coach at CrossFit Victoria.
Today we have a special guest with us. Her name is Karen Hill. She's a professional mountain biker as well as a nutritionist, and she's come here to help us answer all our nutritional questions for you. As you know, I'm not a nutritionist. Are you a nutritionist?
We're not nutritionists.
No, we're not nutritionists.
We bring the experts in.
Yeah, so we brought this girl along with us to help us answer some questions. But first of all, Kaz, because that's what we like to call her. Kaz, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what type of nutritionist you are and all that type of stuff.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. So I've been studying nutrition and working in nutrition for about 7 years now. I did an undergrad in nutrition and then went on to do my honours in sports nutrition, and I'm completing my PhD in sports nutrition at the moment. So my main interests lie with sports nutrition, in particular sort of healthy eating with athletes while helping them to achieve competitive goals, but also getting them to think about like their long-term health and what they do now and how that sort of affects their days later on in life.
I like that. Do you think we got the right professional?
I think so.
I
She
think so
seems
too.
qualified.
She seems very
fairly
qualified.
qualified.
Yeah,
I'm
she
so
seems
qualified.
Yeah,
Let's see
good,
what else.
excellent. I love it. She's already on it. I'm so qualified. All
See
right.
what else she has to say.
Okay, all right, here we go. Well, first question is from Jason Lee. He has asked for nutritional and food advice pre and post training.
Sure, so that will come down to sort of what people can tolerate with. Let's start with pre first.
Yeah.
So with CrossFit, there's a lot of sort of different elements that you need to think about. So you've got your really early classes in the morning as well. Some people will be able to tolerate food or liquids beforehand, but some people won't be able to. So the main thing to sort of think about is your carbohydrate intake before your training, because that is obviously what is going to fuel your training. So your CrossFit workouts are really high intensity, and so that's going to be fueling your workout. Sort of for your muscle energy, your brain energy, your concentration as well. So looking at your carbohydrate intake beforehand, so you generally want to be looking at easily digested carbohydrates. So things like if you eat in the morning before, say, a 6 a.m. class or even a lunchtime class or an evening class, you need to generally try and allow, that 1 to 2 hour mark if you're going to have solids.
Wait, sorry, 1 to 2 hours?
Yeah.
So if I'm doing a 6 a.m. class, I have to eat at 5. Oh my goodness.
So you can eat a lot closer to your class, but having things like a sports drink using liquids, maybe a smoothie, if you don't like solids beforehand. But if you can't tolerate food before your class, then having either more dinner the night before with more carbohydrates, more rices, or different sort of whole grains that you like there, or having an extra snack before bed so that your muscles are fueled before you start that class in the morning.
Which is super important. Having enough energy before your class helps you on so many levels. Not only does it help you perform better because you have more energy, but it's better for muscle recovery. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's lots of, and also it affects your immune system function as well, how you function through that day. Many athletes that are here, will have a day job, families, and everything else outside of that. So you've also got to think about your life load and not just that session that you have then. So while you're eating for that session, you're also eating for your other training sessions, whether people do 2 sessions a day or they go and have a really active job. So you need to be thinking about not just that session but everything else you're doing in your life as well.
What about those people that do like 2 sessions a day, who may be a more competitive side of CrossFit?
Yeah, so it becomes much more important to eat before, during, and directly after your session and fueling those sessions really well.
Cool.
So you mentioned during. What about during your sessions maybe longer than an hour, a bit longer than the usual class?
Yep, so that's where you can utilise sports drinks, even gels. You could utilise bananas. I know some people here have used the baby foods. Those type of things where they're easy to digest and they're not going to be really heavy on your digestive system because you don't want to take that blood away from your working muscles.
Yeah.
So it's a trial and error. Every athlete is going to be really different. So you need to play around with your training and see what works for you.
Yeah. I find, like you mentioned, smoothies. For me, pre-training, I definitely have a smoothie. I find it's a lot easier for me to digest. I still feel like I get the nutrients. I actually, it's only been something recent. I actually didn't have anything before I trained, and now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot, because I feel so much better for having something. But I still can't have anything that's really intense or really heavy. So a smoothie is perfect for me.
Yeah. And it can be a hard thing for athletes to change their way of thinking around food, because you've got to think an athletic diet is going to be quite different to, say, the general population diet, because you're fueling for a very different purpose. And even working with a number of different athletes in any sort of sports, and especially around the use of carbohydrates, it can be a difficult thing for people to get their head around. But if you think of the type of training you're doing, the energy systems that you're using, you need to then sort of fuel those energy systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So using things like sports drinks, Adam, you mentioned that you have just started using one a little bit.
Adam loves his Gatorade.
Yeah.
So
but it makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
Especially when your sister, your
if
your
you're
workout
doing,
goes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You feel drained.
You need that energy to help you recover for other sessions as well. So it can just be as simple as trying to change people's way of thinking around the use of carbohydrates within, before and during their sessions.
Wow. All right. So that's super interesting, and it's good to know that we're kind of on the right track. Tell us a little bit about post-nutrition. I've heard, oh my God, there's so many things out there. You have 30 minutes to have your protein, you have an hour to have your carbs, you have this, and then you shouldn't have fat, and then you should have fat, and then it actually can make your head spin. If you're new to this and you're trying to have the right post-nutrition, there's so many things out there that you're like, oh my God, I have people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, it's 30 minutes, Amelia, I need to have my protein. I need to have my protein.
It's done.
It's done.
I've missed my window.
I've lost my gains. Yeah. So tell us what is the right, is there a specific way that we should have it, or what do you suggest for post-training?
Post-training is get it in as soon as you can.
Yep.
So, you finish your session, you have something there with you that does contain, carbohydrates and protein. So in your recovery phase, you really want to think about repairing, refueling your muscles from the session that you've just done. Mm-hmm. And rehydrating is a big one as well that people generally forget. So if you think about your carbohydrates are refueling your muscles and refueling that energy that you've just used, your protein is helping with the repair phase and helping get those adaptations from those training sessions that you've just done, and then water to help rehydrate your system as well. So as soon as you can after training, I generally say within the 15 minutes of finishing your session.
Yeah, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world, right?
It's not the end of the world. You kind of have that window in terms of how fast your muscles replenish the energy and how your sort of muscles repair. But still, if you can't do it straight away, you need to do it as soon as you can.
Yeah.
And that's where trying to get your athletes to be as organised as possible and bring something with them.
Yeah.
And that's where, I guess your protein type drinks, they're kind of quite easy, they're portable and that sort of thing, but it doesn't have to be a protein shake. They can just do a tin of tuna or a tuna sandwich. It could be, an egg sandwich or just a muesli bar to get them home and that sort of thing. It doesn't have to be something complicated.
Yeah. Cool. I think that answers that really well.
She's good. She seems qualified.
I think she seems very qualified. She knows things. This is good.
So many things.
So we could go on about nutrition forever, but we're going to leave it there. I think we've covered pre and during as well as post-nutrition. Kaz, thank you so much for coming. Jason, I hope we answered your question, and stay tuned. We might be having this lovely lady back next week to answer a few more questions. Thanks so much, guys. My name's Amelia.
And I'm Adam.
And this is,
I'm Karen.
This is Kaz.
This is Kaz, and this is #AskTheCoach.